Right, welcome to another video, and in this one we've got the Breda. So again, I've already had a 100 kill game with, and obviously we got 128 kills in this one on underground, so it's a pretty big one using the 3x scope. And I'm going to try, obviously I've already talked through a few games on how you should play when you're in underground, so I'll try to do a bit of talking on what you want to do when using the Breda, so I can give you some tips for the Breda. I'll specifically talk now in a second about the specializations, because it's very, very important what specializations you do choose on this gun. But yeah, without further ado, I'll get straight into it. And so, the specializations tree for the Breda, on either side, you have the key specialization that you want to focus upon is the burst. So you can either have a decreased time between bursts, which will mean you can fire off the next 4 bullets, the next 4 rounds, much quicker, quickly after the first 4 rounds, or you've got the faster fire rate of a burst, so you can fire the 4 rounds off much quicker, but you have to wait longer then to fire the gun again. Now the one you want to go for is the one which decreases the time between bursts, and there's many reasons why this is much better than having a faster fire rate of the 4 bullets. A lot of the time you'll see that when you're in burst fire mode, it takes quite a lot of bullets, and unless you hit all the 4 bullets, you're not going to get the kill, and a lot of the time, majority of the time, you're not going to hit those 4 bullets, and you're going to need to use that second burst. So if you're having to wait longer between each burst you fire, if you don't get the kill within the first 4 bullets, you give the enemy that so much longer and extra time to shoot back and kill you effectively. Whereas if you go for the other specialization where you have the decreased time between bursts, yes, you'll have a slower fire rate, but you'll be able to fire more rounds per minute, or you'll be able to fire more rounds off quickly, giving the enemy less time to actually to shoot back and kill you if you don't win the initial gunfight. Furthermore, when you have a faster fire rate of the burst, so the 4 bullets are fired quickly, the recoil jerks upwards a lot more than it does with the slower fire rate of the burst. And if having the slower fire rate of the burst means that you've got more time between each bullet fired to pull down on your right stick against the recoil. So effectively, having the slower fire rate, as you would guess, it's much easier to control the recoil at long range when you're going to use it in bursts. So effectively, that is why you want to choose that specialization. And when you get used as you'll see in this gameplay, my aim is well off quite a lot, and I still manage to do very, very well with the gun. Once you practice enough in the it's effectively it's full auto effectively. When you decrease the time between bursts, as long as you just keep tapping the right trigger after every burst, you're effectively it's a full auto gun effectively. And once you learn that recoil pattern and you learn the timing of when you fire each burst off, you effectively have a full auto gun, which is very, very accurate. And it's got a very, very nice reticle and 3x scope, so it's very, very nice. More so, the Breda in semi-automatic mode is also one of the best semi-automatic guns in the game as well. It's very, very, very accurate. It does very good damage as well, and obviously you get 20 rounds. You can reload it very quickly with 1 box magazine, so it defeats a lot of other semi-automatic guns in the game. In many ways, as a semi-auto, and of course you have the option for full auto as well, effectively, even though obviously in the slower bursts. But yeah, so if you practice with the Breda for a good few hours straight, you will get really used to using it in effectively full auto with the bursts, and you'll see the potential of how good this gun can be. It's not a meta gun, but it's definitely very, very, very underrated. And you can have some proper good fun and do really, really well with this gun. But anyway, commenting on the game and where we've got to so far, not much is obviously happening. We've got a choke point here between, obviously we've pushed past B flag at the midpoint and pushing towards their spawn flag at A. I'm using a 3x scope, so I don't want to be pushing into the smokes against shotguns and ZKs, you know, Type 2As, all those close quarters guns which are going to beat a Breda in burst fire or semi-automatic mode. Especially using a 3x scope again, which you want to use at medium to long range rather than close range. Once you get used to it, you will be able to use it very well at close range. But ideally, all you're seeing me do here is I'm holding the midpoint of the map. I'm letting the enemies come to me, and just leaning around the corners and picking off all the enemies. A tip there as well, as you can see right down the end, it's completely like this, the fog and smoke that there is at the end there. You almost can't see at all any of the enemies that are there. You might have realised when you are on the other side and you're standing in that smoke looking in towards where I was there, you can see through the smoke and see the enemies easily, so you don't want to peek or put yourself out too much because you can't see any enemies, and you think that they can't see you because they can see you and you can't see them. So when you're on the side, which I was on then, you need to keep that in mind. That's a big tip for you. That'll save you a lot of times from getting killed, as I just missed that guy there, which you see on the right. But all we're doing now is pushing through to their spawn. When you're in the position here, you want to obviously keep looking along the ridge line along the top, because any enemies can head glitch and peek over that and shoot down on you. You've got multiple angles. They can shoot at you from the left, the right, above, from the windows in the building behind. You've got the buildings that are up on the top right. So whenever you are in this position here, there's a choke point, and you got to this position here, you just want to keep popping. You don't want to get greedy for kills. You just want to pop in or pop out, looking to the right or to the left, and then pop back in. Always, when you are back in this section, making sure to look along the top of the ridge line for any enemies that might come and look down over you. And obviously you have to take that risk when you do pop out to look to the right or to the left to shoot and kill some enemies. You obviously are taking the risk that someone might come above you, but that's why you're always watching it and evaluating the risk so that you do pop out when there is the least amount of risk possible. But yeah, I've spoken enough. I'll let the video play a bit. I'll see what else I can comment on if there's anything that I should highlight. But yeah, definitely give the Breda a go. It's a very, very good gun. Yeah, and I'll jump in at some point in the next minute or so. Right, I survive and I get lucky there. But what you can see here, which you need to learn, is whenever you are going for a reload, it is quite good and wise to stand still and not move while reloading, because obviously you might move out of cover and get yourself killed while moving around and reloading. If you just stand still behind cover, you're behind cover, and when you exit cover, you have your full magazine reloaded and you can engage any enemy you want. Obviously, if you're playing with SMGs and ZKs, you are going to be moving and reloading. That's just how the playstyle works with those types of guns. But even with those types of guns, as you're moving to and from cover, it's still wise to stay behind cover, being still, and not exiting cover until you have reloaded. Again, here I'm at the bottom of the stairs using a 3x scope. It's always wise to obviously lean around the corner and pick off enemies, looking at the bottom left and bottom right corners of the stairs. The mistake I made here, which probably could have got me more kills if I didn't, was pushing up the stairs. I can't remember if I die here or not, but when you're using a gun like this, which isn't a close quarters gun, which is good for obviously pushing up these stairs and getting in there, you don't want to be pushing up the stairs because anyone comes around the corner. I could have died easily here multiple times. The best thing for me to possibly have done is stay where I am now, picking off enemies down the middle of the map, and getting headshots in the windows. But yeah, so if you got anything that's not a close quarters gun, try not to push up the stairs, or at least just peek at the bottom of the stairs. And don't push up unless you're 100% certain it is safe. Yeah, so as you can see there, switching between the burst fire and semi-automatic fire. Once you get past that medium range and into long range, it generally is wise to go to semi-automatic. But you'll find once you use the gun for a few hours on end, use it for a few hours straight, the the burst fire full auto, you will become very accurate and good at controlling the recoil, and you'll be able to use that full auto at longer ranges, and you'll find you'll get quite a lot of headshots and you'll get a lot of fast kills. It is very, very good. So that pretty much concludes the video. 128 kill game with the Breda, so very nice and unusual to see. Got a few more loads of 100 kill games on the way, maybe an hour ass spots video as well. But yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Music is my band-aid.